Divine and royal greetings, family. Shayola Benta here.
This is Priya Bhagat, and this is Currency Conversation with Sisters. Welcome.
Ooh, welcome. So it's been another 7 days come and gone. It's been an awesome, strong end, and here we are. So today's topic is very interesting. Thank you to Mother Priya for selecting it for us. Do you want to tell the fine people our topic for today and why you chose it?
Our topic is currency of risk.
Mhm.
Reason I chose that is because I had a conversation with someone. I was talking about the opportunity, and basically, hey, I don't want to take that risk. And it was just someone that I could really talk to. I said, why not? We take a risk every day. And so, he just went into just wanting to know all the information and trust and all the stuff that was going on in his life,
Right, right, right.
not wanting to take that risk, um,
Hmm.
this opportunity at this time, at this
Right.
time. So,
At this time. So do you think the risk was more of the $33 or the risk of maybe not knowing and being versed in this space?
hmm, it could be the $33, but it's whatever he is going on in that person's life
Mm,
that might influence him not to want to do $33 a month.
I could dig it. Super side note, shout out to this
Mm.
blouse that you have on because it is beautiful. I'm
Oh,
like,
good
you,
thing.
I love it. You over there sparkling, just golden. It's giving me Oshun vibes.
You got to have sparkle. You
You
got
gotta
to
have the sparkle. It's amazing. You look beautiful.
give thing.
But I agree with you. We take risk every day. Just leaving our house alone is a risk.
Yeah,
But I
but it's a familiar risk. You know what I mean? It's
a
familiar.
familiar risk. Okay, that's
Yeah.
real. That's real.
Hmm.
Well, we are going to take a look. It's about a 10-minute video. And family, I'm going to apologize in advance. I switched accounts and I kind of forgot that I did that. So when I went to, put it all together, it was you got to do this and you got to do that. And I didn't really create space for it. So charge it to my mind. So here we are going to watch a short video on the currency of risk. And shout out to Jim Rome. Like, he comes through with the knowledge. So
Yes.
here
Hmm.
we go.
Risk, according to Webster, is the chance of injury, damage, loss, the failure of your expectation.
The biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
Almost any accomplishment in the history of the world has come at the hands of people who've taken risk, people who are willing to push the envelope, people who are willing to explore the unknown.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks.
Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if
Mm.
this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying.
The greatest risk they take is not taking one, and I use it to this day. Anytime I feel that I feel nervous, like I feel right now, I take the risk.
Whatever it is that you want to do, there's going to be risk in your life, and risk is a necessary component of progress.
The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive.
Right. I mean, a lot of people, I think that, whenever it comes to, whenever you get yourself into a position where you have to make some big shift in direction or do something, there are always people who are going to point to the downside risks of that decision. And locally, they're maybe right? I mean, for any given decision that you're going to make, there's upside and downside. If you are stagnant and you don't make those changes, then I think you're guaranteed to fail, right? And not catch up. So to some degree, I think it's really right that over time, the biggest risk that you can take is to not take any risks.
As a business grows, the natural tendency would be to take fewer risks and to be cautious and to have contingency plans. But in a business that's changing very quickly or one that you want to grow, you actually need to be explicit about accepting risk. One of the people who work with me kind of describes it this way. I was sort of encouraging this person, hey, let's try this. Why don't we do this? How about this? And at some point, he kind of came back and said, so what you're telling me is you want me to try to do 10 things, and if I only get 8 of them, you'll be okay with that. If I don't get all 10, versus having 5 things and doing all 5 perfectly. That's exactly right. We want to accept some experiments.
The key thing about taking risk is learning. And if something doesn't work out, learn from it, and then you're able to move further. We have to always recognize that, knowledge frequently comes at a price. Thomas Edison said he knew 999 ways that a light bulb did not work. Right? Many of us are familiar with the cleaning formula 409. Why do they call it that? The first 408 didn't work, But, you just put these things into perspective and you learn from them. Walter Dandy, the great neurosurgeon at Johns Hopkins many decades ago, was the first one to do operations on the posterior fossa, the back part of the brain. No one thought it could be done. First 13 patients all died. Now, can you imagine how devastating that was? I can't even imagine what he said to the 14th patient when they said, how did the other 13 do? But the fact of the matter is we now are able to do that operation routinely and safely. I did one last week. And so we just have to put all these things in perspective and recognize that we will never make progress unless we're willing to take risks. But we have to take them in an appropriate fashion. Right. Because, there's a large group of people who never get anywhere because they're afraid to take a risk. There's another group of people who never get anywhere because they take too many of the wrong risks. They're always getting knocked back into the pond. So that's where this tremendous brain comes in, where you are able to analyze.
People told me that Black Swan was an artistic risk, a scary challenge to try to portray a professional ballet dancer. But it didn't feel like courage or daring that drew me to it. I was so oblivious to my own limits that I did things I was woefully unprepared to do. And so the very inexperience that in college had made me feel insecure and made me want to play by others' rules now was making me actually take risks I didn't even realize were risks. When Darren asked me if I could do ballet, I told him that I was basically a ballerina, which, by the way, I wholeheartedly believed. When it quickly became clear in preparing for the film that I was maybe 15 years away from being a ballerina, it made me work a million times harder. And of course, the magic of cinema and body doubles helped the final effect. But the point is, if I had known my own limitations, I never would have taken the risk. And the risk led to one of my greatest artistic and personal experiences, in that I not only felt completely free, I also met my husband during filming.
I think that you have to take risks all the time. If you don't do that, you don't move forward. We are trying to be too conservative in the way that you think life. And the result is that nobody voices out to say, I don't agree with this, I agree with that. So we have to push somehow our individuality to make sure that our voice can be heard.
I think risk is important for every company. I think it is the essence of entrepreneurship, whether you're the smallest company in the world or like Google, the second largest company in the world, to take smart risks all the time. I run this experiment frequently with groups where I give them two choices, choice A and choice B. So choice A is you get to deliver $1 million of bottom line value to your company this year, guaranteed. Choice B, you get to deliver $1 billion of bottom line value to your company this year, but only with one chance in 100. So everyone does the mental math. I say, who wants choice A? Nobody raises their hand. Who wants choice B? Everybody raises their hand. It's got an expected utility that's 10 times higher than choice A. And then I say, who here believes that your boss wants you to choose choice B? And not a single person in the room raises their hand. I mean, these typically are large multinationals who want to be innovative. And then I say, you don't need a lecture on innovation. You need a new boss. You need a new context. I really think that it's the context that matters. We all inherently understand that taking smart risks is the right thing to do. Now, what counts as smart and what counts as a risk is different in different parts of a company or companies of different sizes.
Make your move before you're ready. We're instructed in life to walk by faith and not by sight. See, you want to really begin to stretch yourself. You want to become a risk taker. You want to raise the bar on yourself. Most people won't do that. See, most people engage in low life living, low risk living. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? I like what Helen Keller said. Life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. You want to begin to take some chances. You want to begin to challenge yourself and make it okay to fail and learn from your failures. Don't allow fear, the failure, and the allure, the attractiveness of playing it safe in life to draw you in. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here.
Now is the time to take risk. So I would encourage you to take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it.
Wow.
Wow.
So, right. I'm trying to get back to you. So what say you? That was an amazing piece. And also, I mean, there were really good or great contributors. Shout out to Les Brown, who always
Yeah.
brings us, the goods and that self-worth check. So, what's your feeling? What stuck out to you as you rewatched that?
When he was defining risk as an injury, damage, or loss. And we have been conditioned when we hear the word risk to see that as something bad.
Okay.
And not as something that you could gain from.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he said it's a language of the poor. What if? What if I do this? What if this happened? What if you don't do it? And I say that for so many other people who feel like, hey, life isn't changing for me. Life isn't moving for me. I get up, I go to work, I come home, and that's my routine. Maybe that's your routine because you haven't taken a risk to change it. Because we as human beings, in a sense, we might complain about, gotta get up, go to work, come home, doing that routine over and over again. And we might complain about, hey, we want to change, but somehow we become complacent with that. We become comfortable with that. Okay.
With the
We
monotony?
do.
Comfortable with the monotony?
Yeah, because this is what we know. Like I said, this is familiar. This is what I can handle. This is what I can, work with. So if something comes into my life, I'm gonna have to shift. I'm gonna have to change, the way I think, the way I do things. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. But deep down, I believe everybody would like to change something in their life. In order to do that, you have to step out. You have to take a risk. Risk just means action. Action just means change or progress. And I said, what if Harriet Tubman didn't take that risk? You didn't think she realized she could have been at that time? She could have been injured. It was dangerous.
Or killed.
She was going to lose her life. She could have. She took a risk during that time. What if Rosa Parks never sat down in the front of the bus and took that risk? She knew what could have happened, but she took that risk.
Right.
And after that, that was progress. That was change. So
I definitely. My apologies. I didn't mean to cut across you.
So I believe risk is necessary in life. In order for change to come about.
One of the things that I heard him say is, I think it was Ben Carson. You can take calculated risks, or you can take risks that you really haven't thought about. So you throw yourself back in the pond, so to speak. And I think that, taking calculated risks are necessary, like you said, for our growth and development. I think about change and how, or even why, it is challenging. Change is challenging. And throughout human history, it's been said that the hardest thing to change is the human mind. Just knowing what kind of intelligence the brain is, the mind is, of course, those are two separate entities, but no buts. In your opinion, why do you think it's hard or challenging to change? Like, that's the one thing that's constant, but we fear it greatly.
I think for a lot of people, it isn't hard because they see without change, nothing is going to change.
Right.
And we have so many, activists and, people throughout history. They knew they had to take the risk to change a thing because things will not change.
Right.
And with that, sometimes they can change a mass of people. They can sometimes. And like that, sometimes other people just don't want to come out of that being comfortable. They don't, like I said, they don't want to rock the boat. And it's that fear. It's that fear factor too. It's that fear factor too of loss. It's that fear factor.
And I recognize, I was actually having a conversation with someone yesterday, and we were talking about how fear really is the baseline for most of our actions, right? We do or not do things as it relates to them being fear-based. So it's like, okay, we're comfortable, but what about it? Are we afraid of losing? Right? It's and I am no exception. There are things that definitely require change, and it's just like,
we talk ourselves out of it.
We will talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
I am guilty of that. And it's so just like, what is it, but I love that. Don't ask for less risks, ask for more adventure. And I think that if we looked at life as this big adventure, we might do a little more, and not spend 100 years in the corner. But people, again, it's that fear. What happens if? Now, I would say, personally speaking, I have a fear of, and I will not do it, those like collapsible amusement parks, carnivals, and things like that. That's one thing that I haven't gotten over that part yet.
That one screw might be out. The one screw might be
one. I actually got stuck on a roller coaster.
The one ride you get on. Oops.
I was in I think I was still living in New York at the time, but anyway, we went to Coney Island, and I will never forget. We got on this ride, and it started to go up. Child, it got stuck. The roller coaster got stuck. So I really haven't gotten over that particular fear yet. But we have to be in this. Well, we don't have to do anything, but it's almost like we have to really err on the side of making those and taking those calculated moves. I mean, can you imagine if you were playing chess and just nothing on the board moves?
Right.
It's just pieces on a puzzle.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to make a move. You have to make a move regardless, whether your piece is going to be taken or not. You're going to take that risk. And sometimes you do take the risk in having a piece taken because if he takes that piece, oh, I can do this.
Right.
So it is calculated, it's thought out.
It's thought out, right? Those calculated risks.
Such as chess. But,
it's necessary. Necessary. Wow, there was a thought that came to me and it just escaped. It'll come back. But I'm listening.
But just imagine, and I'm putting myself in the same place. Boy, when I was working, and all those times I sat at my desk, and I knew I had to leave that job. I mean, it was just eating at my soul. But it was like, oh God, no, I got this bill to pay. But I just wanted to take that leap, to take that risk.
Right.
And I'm telling you, thousands of people feel that way today. That when they take that risk and just leave, jump off that cliff.
Especially if it's no longer resonating with the soul. Like Les Brown said, it all leads back to your happiness. And if you're not happy, it's just like, what's the point?
Yes.
Like why even do this if I know it's not really satisfying to any, part of me. I remember being on a job and I didn't necessarily hate it, but I think I had started my journey so much so that my supervisor was like, look, we can see that you're not here anymore. So before we have to ask you to leave, or anything to that nature. And, it was a smooth transition, but I'm not saying that, entrepreneurship is smooth or has been smooth. It's smoother, but I will say that it was challenges and, I definitely got in my own way, because there were changes that needed to be made. And I'm just like, can I please hold on to those shards of glass? Because I'm just so used to holding on to them. But it's like, if you release the shards of glass, not only can you now heal your hands, but you create space to hold and receive so much more.
Right. But, and I was on sometimes less is more. Less
That's
is
true.
more.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get to that point, what am I losing? But
What
the
am I
thing is,
losing?
wait, but the universal, I'm gonna say the universal principle of balance is if you lose something, you're gonna have to gain it. That's the universal principle.
But people don't
So
really
if
follow universal laws. They follow man-made
you're
laws.
gonna lose it, you're gonna gain. You will gain something. I mean, Job told us that. Look all he lost, and then
Mm-hmm.
how much he gained.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
You
that's
know,
real.
principle of balance. It has to be a balance. If everything is taken away from you, everything's going to be given back to you.
That's a great perspective. That's a great perspective. But as I was saying, I really think that we are conditioned to man-made laws. And then when you
Yeah.
realize how flawed man is, it's like, why do we take these things so seriously? I told
Because, yeah.
Mother Lydia earlier today, sometimes it's hard. It could be a challenge, walking in the heavens, so to speak, and being here on earth. And she said, well, you don't want to walk in the heavens too often and you're no good on earth. And that really, that was like my thought of the day. Sometimes we can get so, Shayola, tunnel vision with, I got to keep moving. I got to keep going. There's some place I'm trying to go. And along the way, you realize, okay, but before you get to that next step, you got to change this one. You got to make some tweaks,
Yeah.
But I would like to see how it would look if more of us started to take risks. And I think that too goes to your why. What are you looking to do and why? What steps are you willing to take to get there? What
Yeah.
sacrifices are you willing to
Yeah.
make?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, once you decide to take a risk, there could be preparation towards it. That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. It
Mm-hmm.
definitely is.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that, today's recording helps someone to see, what, maybe I have been in my comfort zone just a little too long. Maybe it's time for me to do something different. We are approaching the autumn equinox. So that's the harvest. So of course, what did you plant in the summer? Did you make any changes then? Are you willing to make changes? Right? So I don't
Yeah.
have any additional flyers, but I would like to say that directly after this recording, the bottom of the ticker shows you that we'll be with Brother Eric Teray Muhammad on his Facebook page for Welcome to the Wealth Transfer. And that's the biggest thing. There's a wealth transfer taking place and in many forms. It's just not about money, but there is wealth, there's knowledge, there's information, there's health, there's all types of things that are literally at our fingertips. And then Saturday coming, ding, 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 ding. If you are, or someone in the Richmond DMV area, Dr. Tyrone Best, Nicole, Nikki Knox, the Bentas, Priya Bagat, and so many more will be at the Laburnum Library and at 4:05 p.m. So definitely, feel free to stop by. The flyer and the link to register are on my Facebook page. So just a little scroll. I'm sure that you would find it, or you can inbox either one of us. And if you want to learn more about this wonderful wealth transfer and all that it has to offer, visit us tonight, www.goldrocks.info at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you can't make it at 5, hopefully you can make it at 9. And if you can't make it at 9, hopefully you can make it tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mother, do you have any words to close us out?
If you're someone out there that's looking to grow your money, um, just want to understand financial, what's going on financially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a solution, and we just ask you, take a risk and just, you know, listen to what we have to say. Come to one of our presentations, contact us so we can share more with you.
And we'll be back next week with another currency topic. Change your thoughts, change your life. We are on a wave to massive change. So until next Monday, we say peace, light,
Peace.
wholeness,
Mhm.
and love.
Peace.